got a story to tell you. This story goes a little bit into my former career. I spent 20 years in human resources, which is crazy. But yeah, I spent 20 years in HR. I worked at different places, so I didn't do it all at one place. So it made it bearable. But in all the times I worked in HR, I was typically the only guy in the HR office, which really is not relevant for this story. Well, actually, it kind of is because I don't know that any of my other coworkers would have had these experiences because they were all females, also for the most part. So, and the whole story, it'll come full circle for you. I would be in these meetings, and typically, depending on the level of the meeting, there's one or two women there at the meeting. So we'd go in the meeting, all like maybe 10 guys and 2 women, 10 guys, 3 women, something like that in all these meetings. And it's not really relevant what we were discussing. But after the meetings, like typically one of the ladies would come and talk to me, and she, express that she didn't feel like she, could speak up or she was being heard in the meeting. And then later on, the other one would come up and she said the same thing. So over years, in my mind, I'm just saying, well, that's just them being in the meeting and it's all this male energy and they don't really feel like, they can compete with that male energy without screaming or yelling or getting excited, because, the men are going to be more vocal and more forceful and things like that. So that was my first thought for a long time. So I started to pay closer attention, which is what happens when you have higher consciousness. You start to pay closer attention because what things appear to be aren't necessarily what they are. So when I was in these meetings, I would start to look at the ladies who were in the meeting. Sometimes they sit next to each other, sometimes they sit, but I would just kind of watch them and check out their interaction, thinking that, I'm gonna discern whatever is going on to make them feel unheard or whatever. And as if it's something that can be addressed. I'm from HR, so it's just seeing if that's actually something that's going on that can be addressed. So I would look, and they would have a ton of eye contact for the whole meeting. And, in spite of where the speaker was, they would have constant eye contact. They would constantly have their heads nodding at the same time and things like that. So, I was overhearing a conversation, and the ladies were saying that, I felt this way about what was happening when so-and-so said this. And then the other one would say, I felt exactly the same way. And the other one, I felt exactly the same way. So I'm thinking, well, I didn't feel anything when the person said that. But I'm just, once again, chalking it up to being, the ladies being sensitive to whatever, and they all being sensitive to that. So then I started to think, they're all sensitive to it. Why would they kind of all be sensitive to it? So I started to think, are they some way like communicating their feelings with each other all through the room? And it became something that I would watch. And it's something I watch when I watch Fresh and Fit, or when I watch Pearl. And and I can see a lot more on Fresh and Fit because of how the room is directed. And so I'm like, okay. These women are actually doing telepathy. I don't know if they know what they're doing, but when you step back and look, you can see they're actually talking to each other in their heads. So I said, okay, maybe this is crazy. Let me see if this will work. So yesterday I have my 2 daughters here. One is 21, one is 18. So I sit them across from each other, and I don't tell them anything. I just walk up to them, sit them across from each other, and say, I want you to think of something, and then I want you to write down what she's thinking. So she's over here, says what she's thinking, stops over here, and then she writes something down. First time she writes down something partial, and then I said, do it again. They do it again, and this is right behind each other. They do it again, boom. Second time, she gets it right. Then we switch roles. She gets it right. Get it right, 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 100%. 100%. So one person is thinking of something and the other person is writing down what they're thinking. Prove me wrong. Hey, I'm a guy, I'm probably lying. You probably can't do this. This is probably something that only men can do. And my two daughters, and I'm probably lying my ass off. So don't trust me at all. You probably can't do this. You probably wouldn't be smart for you to sit there with one of your friends and actually try it so you can actually see the type of power you actually possess. That was all sarcasm, by the way. That's it. Try it.